The regular council meeting of the city of Shreveport for this February the 9th is now called to order. We will have the prayer by Councilman Corey and the pledge by Councilwoman Lynch.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we give you great thanks for this day, and we ask that you bless this city and the leadership and the workers. And God, help us as we go forward to make great decisions and wise decisions. We pray forgiveness of our sins and where we failed thee, for we ask it in Christ's holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Let us face the flag and recite the pledge in unison.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next Wednesday night.
Love that bouquet of crowns over there.
I'll tell you who it is.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Bradford.
Present.
Mr. Everson.
Here.
Mrs. Jenkins.
Present.
Mr. Corbin.
Present.
Mr. Fleury.
Present.
Ms. Lynch. Here. Mr. Bowman.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve of the minutes of the previous?
Second.
Moved by Councilman Everson, seconded by Councilwoman Lynch.
And if I could be more specific, I suppose my motion is to actually first to amend the January 12th, to adopt the January 25th, 26th minutes and the amendment to the January 12th meeting.
Okay. All right, you heard the motion with the amendment. There any discussion? If not, please vote.
Chair, who second the motion?
Council Lady Lynch. Okay, 5, 4, 2 out of the chambers. Motion passes. Thank you. All righty. We're down to awards recognition of guests. Let's do this, since we have at least 2 kings who are part of the city network. Councilman Everson, will you please recognize some of our distinguished guests?
Well, thank you so much. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules so that we can take up resolution number 26.
Second.
The move and second, we suspend the rules to take up Amendment 26. Any discussion? If not, please vote. Again, that motion passes 5-0, 2 out of the chambers.
All right, thank you so much. And now that we are here, in a moment, I'd like to invite the council clerk to read Resolution 26 for us. But before we do that, I'd like to invite all the representatives of the local Shreveport Mardi Gras crews to come up to the podium, introduce yourselves, and tell us what crew you're with. And I may take an opportunity to jump up there and represent my crew as well. And we may invite, I know Councilman Corbin is also a distinguished member of Gemini.
Wow.
And so we may, I'll just say our hellos and then we'll come back and hear the reading of the resolution. And Jackie as well, you want to come join us?
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
I get to wear lots of hats this
Yeah,
day.
do that. Do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brian Landry. It is my pleasure to serve as the captain of captains of the 14 Mardi Gras crews that comprise the Captain's Council of North Louisiana. All the crews have their own charisma and their way of celebrating Mardi Gras. It's a boom to the communities, not only of Shreveport, but all the way down from Natchitoches to Spring Hill. We have a few crews with us, and I'll let the captains introduce their people.
Members of the council, Mayor Tyler, CAO, Mr. Crawford, Tari Bradford, crew of Sobek, Captain, 2016. And my members are running late, but nevertheless, the captain will always be on. Thank you, B. I'm sorry. Stand up, B. We have Miss B here with the council, who's also in the crew of Sobek. Nevertheless, the captains will always be on time. Good afternoon. I am Cynthia Pearson, the captain for the crew of Harambe, Captain 16. I have with me our king, William Bradford Jr., our queen, Katrina Thomas Early, chieftain Ronnie Alexander, our member Jackie White, and our high priestess Gladys McKnight Starks.
All right, thank you.
I'm Jeff Everson. I think I've met a few of you before, I'm representing the crew of Highland. I am king of the 21st season of the crew of Highland, and we are in existence to celebrate our neighborhood and all the things that are unique to it, and it's just a real honor to have served and been a part of this Mardi Gras community this year.
Great.
And last but not least, thank you, Mayor and council members, for having us here today. I'm Susie Stinson and captain of the crew of Justinian in its 22nd year. I have with me our queen, Judge Catherine Doro, our Duchess Nancy Cooper, and Brian Landry is also a member of Justinian. So.
Great.
Luckily this year I don't have my sash and crown and all that, but Brett Burgess, I'm the historian for the crew of Atlas, and we're actually hosting the bridge closing ceremony and the end of season, you know, kind of closeout party this evening. So if y'all are able to swing by, come check it out. 6:30, doors open at Art Space this evening. We're going to have food and music and all that, and then we'll parade up through downtown, close it down, and have a final toast there on the bridge where Monsignor Earl will administer ashes to everyone. So. All of our crew members that were able to come are going out doing visits at the nursing homes and stuff. That's why I got thrown in at the last minute from work. But thank y'all for your support and letting us do this every year.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Michael Corbin. I will be representing for Gemini 27 on behalf of Captain Mary Louise Stansel, Queen Debbie Garrison, and King Chris Stansel. We certainly appreciate the city's support of Mardi Gras activities and all these folks behind us. I think that everybody working together has a real nice event up here and something that Shreveport can be proud of.
Great.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the representatives we have here. As he said, we have people in the schools and the nursing homes visiting right now. On behalf of the Captain's Council and all of the captains involved in this in North Louisiana, we specifically want to say a thank you to the city of Shreveport, its wonderful police department, its wonderful fire department, and its wonderful sanitation department that help us make this party that is the carnival season what it is in North Louisiana. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Chief Justice, will you mind standing there, and I'm going to ask the clerk to read the resolution.
You're right.
It's a resolution to recognize the Mardi Gras crews of the Captain's Council of Northwest Louisiana for bringing great tradition and culture of Mardi Gras and other social activities to Shreveport and to otherwise provide with respect thereto. By Councilman Jeff Everson. Whereas February the 9th, 2016 is Fat Tuesday, the biggest day of celebration and the last day of the Mardi Gras season. Whereas the Mardi Gras celebration returned to Northwest Louisiana in 1989, when the crew of Gemini was formed. Today there are 14 crews that are part of the Captain's Council, located in Shreveport, each with its own personality. And whereas a significant distinction from New Orleans Mardi Gras Carnival is that Shreveport prides itself on hosting more family-friendly Mardi Gras festivities, and whereas Mardi Gras float riders in Shreveport toss more than 8 million beads, cups, African masks, and other throws each year to seas of people, waving their arms and shouting, "Throw me something, mister." Whereas the parades attract as many as 400,000 visitors a year, which adds to Shreveport's economy. And whereas in addition to the parades and the glitzy Mardi Gras balls, the crews offer each other social and charitable events throughout the year. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Shreveport in due legal and regular session convened that the City Council recognizes the Mardi Gras crews for bringing the great tradition and culture of Mardi Gras to the City of Shreveport, and it thanks them for their service.
What I hear?
So moved. I'll second.
Moved by Councilman Everson, seconded by Councilman Jenkins, that we will adopt this resolution in honor of our crews. Are there any discussion? Please vote. Thank you. That motion passes 6-0. We went out of the chamber.
No controversy there.
Do we have a copy to present to the chief?
I don't know if,
At this time?
did Jackie?
We will get you a copy.
We will
We'll get a
get
copy.
one. I don't know that we have one at the moment, but we will get one to you. And we really, just, and if I may take a moment.
You may.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry. I do want to just express thanks. I have been lucky to, be able to attend a lot of Mardi Gras balls in the past and a lot of parades growing up in Shreveport. So it's always been a part of my Shreveport experience, but this year having had the opportunity to serve as a king and really be able to get to know all of the other crews, it's been an absolute pleasure to see all of the diverse groups of people that come together to make this such a success in our community. And for Brian to wrangle this, this, like I said, very diverse group of people, certainly want to say thank you to the captain, the captains, and all the captains and their crews who make this possible. It's a lot of work that goes into this, and it really does pay off. Benefits everything from Justinian. For instance, raises money for the Pro Bono project for people who need defense and need help with legal work, all the way to volunteering on local service projects and housing projects throughout the year. Just so many great benefits that come in addition to all the fun that we think of this particular time of year. But that fun is no shortage of a thing either. That's something to recognize too. So just want to thank everybody, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
All right, final thing, everybody gets beads.
Well, hold on. Chief Captain, we have some more comments. Thank you. Jackie, council lady.
Yes, I wanted to thank you all also, but also to thank all of y'all Facebook friends that posted pictures. I didn't make it to any of the parties, but I saw a little what was going on. And you all looked like y'all were having a lot of fun. I even saw the mayor, I believe, in one of the ball pictures. And I also wanted to thank Maggie Martin and the Times, because they took a lot of great photos too. So, for those of us that missed it, you kind of felt like you were there. So thank you all.
And
Not
any
just for
other
the party, but for your
any other
community service
remarks?
as well.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Any other councilman have any remarks?
Oh, and one extra person thing. When I was thanking all the people from the city, really could not do it without the coordinating efforts of SPAR and all of this. They're incredible. So.
Yeah.
And let me say also, I'm really pleased and excited about how this carnival has grown in North Louisiana. We started off very small, but now we've got 14 crews, and I'm impressed with the activities that you have, the philanthropists and the benevolent work that you endure, as well as the carnival and the cruise and your participation in various activities. I think the weather was well this year. I think all crews had their activities without weather-related incidents. But 400,000 visitors come to Shreveport. That speaks volumes about why this is important to Shreveport. It does have the economic benefit. That's not entirely what we do it, but as a city, bringing in 400 visitors as well is always good to know, and that we are reaping the investment of the city's involvement in these activities and in your individual crews. So thank you for what you do, and let us have another great season next year during the Mardi Gras season. City Attorney, do you want to say something? He covered it. Okay. All right. Any other remarks? Okay. If not, thank you very kindly, and we will receive our bees at this time.
Thank you, sir. Do what you want.
Oh, yeah, that Harambe this one, but Harambe was this last weekend. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's okay if you give them to me. I promise I don't bite over here. I'm pretty safe over here.
Howard, you're so good to we enjoyed it so much the other night. It was wonderful.
How are you? Hey, William, when I saw you out there, I'm like, that looks a lot like William.
Post that you and your friends ever
Those are fighting beats.
How are you? Good to see you. Thank you so much.
I got one, thank you. I like it.
Oh, did you? Yes, I got that.
No, he didn't give me a cup.
Congratulations on another great evening.
Fabulous Saturday night.
We got one the other night. Now I got a set.
Steal my stuff. You like that one, baby? I'm good. Well, I'm already said thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
This deal has its. That's supposed to be wearing you, so
Okay, we're going to go back to our regular agenda. I may ask to suspend the rules again for another purpose, but at this time, are there any other councilmen who have any awards recognition with distinguished guests? Council Lady Lynch.
Yes, I wanted to acknowledge former Councilwoman Rose McCullough. I think I saw her earlier. Where's she? How are you? Just wanted to acknowledge your presence today. Good to
Oh, I
see
didn't even see Rose.
you. She's over there high.
Okay. Thank you. Any other councilpersons?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Councilman Corbin. I didn't see the screen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of things. Just a second ago, when I was on the other side of the microphone thanking the city from the crew standpoint, I'd like to be on this side of the microphone and both, once again, thank the crews for all that they do, and also to our SPAR and Public Works employees and EMS, Fire, and SPD. I rode a float this past Saturday, and I told Chief Shaw that there was rarely a time that I didn't lean over the edge of that float and look to the right or the left and see someone in uniform. And that's a comforting thought for a float rider, especially when we hear about some of the incidents that have happened across the state and even small things here at home. But I went out Sunday morning after both Centaur and Gemini parades and was out on part of the parade course, and you could hardly tell anything had happened. Our folks cleaned up, and I appreciate that, and I think the citizens appreciate that, and I know it's a long weekend, especially this past weekend when we had the Black History Parade as well as Gemini, and we kind of tax our folks, and we can't say thank you enough for that. And finally, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to say thank you from my family to everyone for the kind words, thoughts, and cards over these past couple weeks. I appreciate it. My family appreciates it. My dad certainly appreciates it. And for those of you that were able to come to the memorial service, I appreciate it more than words can say. It's good to look out and see those people that I work with there and people that I respect. And I hope that everybody was able to bring back just a tiny something positive from that service. Thank you again.
Thank you, Councilman, and our prayers will continue with you and your family. And we'll say that your mother's memorial service was very inspiring. I didn't know her personally, but after the service, I thought I did know her. Very, very, very nice comments about your mother.
There was a couple things I learned that I didn't know as well. So I don't know what that says.
But nevertheless, it was very, very inspiring, well attended. So,
thank you.
Okay. Any other council persons have any remarks? If not, we're going to move to the mayor. Mayor, you have any communication?
Yes, sir, I have some announcement. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the council, and to our people in the audience and in the television audience. I too want to say happy Mardi Gras Day to everybody. Today is Fat Tuesday, and I want to also thank our employees who worked so diligently to ensure that we had a good time, but a safe time. Let me just thank SPAR, because Shelley Regal heads a lot of the things that happen with these parades. She's involved intimately all year long, along with her employees. Also, Shreveport Police Department, Fire Department, and Public Works. All of them work together to ensure that we can offer these kinds of activities for families and for visitors to our city. And I want to tell them that more than words, we certainly appreciate what they do. It is not easy. Many times they spend months trying to prepare for these kinds of activities. And, you know, you just would not imagine what happens behind the scenes to make things go as well as they go during this particular season. We have a lot of parades now, and we have a lot of things that we have to do to make sure that, you know, families are safe and that they can enjoy themselves. And the economic impact is felt in our city and in our region. So thank you so much to all of those who are making a difference every year for the citizens in this city. Also, I'm proud to announce that our own Mr. De Niro Washington, Director of Sportran, is a recipient of the 2016 Southwest Transit Association President's Award. He received the award last week in Mesa, Arizona during the annual meeting. This prestigious award is only given to an individual that has shown great leadership and advanced the state of public transportation in North America. The award recipient is selected by SWTA president using a metric system provided with SWTA bylaws. Please join me in congratulating Mr. De Niro Washington. Will you please stand? Congratulations, job well done. I'm also proud to announce that MovieMaker.com has named Shreveport as number 9 on the top 10 small cities and towns as the best places to live and work as a movie maker for 2016. Shreveport has a lot of movie making to brag about. 10 projects based on their productions here in 2015 with cumulative production budgets in excess of $42 million. WGN's original series, Salem, continued into its 3rd season in Shreveport, where it shoots on a sprawling 12-acre 17th century set originally built by Fox. As part of our litter abatement and beautification campaign, I want you all to know that Shreveport police officers are proactively seeking out those who would violate litter laws and working with neighbors all across our city to clean up Shreveport. Recently, a special operation to address littering resulted in citations for several people. I want to remind folks that we're watching. SPD uses covert cameras in different areas of our city to identify and apprehend violators. And we want to stress that because it's important for us to know that we have laws in place and we're going to enforce those laws. And by doing that, we're going to have a better city. We're going to have a cleaner city, and we're going to be proud to call Shreveport home. Our next announcement, purchasing is now offering solicitation bid documents to download on the city's website at www.shreveportla.gov/solicitations. This new service saves the city money on printing plans, project manuals, and other bid documents. Vendors save time by downloading the documents for free. Vendors no longer have to come to Government Plaza to pay for plans or make a second trip to return plans for refundable deposits. Vendors who require paper copies can continue to pick them up in purchasing. Vendors who prefer to submit a bid electronically have the option of doing so at www.bidsync.com. And lastly, I want to congratulate the 17 cadets who were training to become firefighters with our Shreveport Fire Department. We had the pleasure of joining them today for a part of their training. I want you to know that with the grant that Chief Warburton and his people received last year, we've been able to recruit 17 cadets And I want to tell you, they are really good-looking young men and women, and we hope that they all make it to become firefighters in our great city. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Those are the announcements.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, and thank you for those announcements. And congratulations again to Washington for that distinguished honor. And we share your sentiments in congratulating the fire department chief for getting the grant and for bringing on some great potentials for a great fire department. It can only enhance what we already have. We already have a great fire department. Okay. Before we move to reports, I have some residents here from the District 8 MLK area, and I would like to again make a motion that we suspend the rules to hear their issues regarding the Hersey D. Wilson Street. I so move. Second. Moved and second by, moved by the chair, second by the vice chair, that we suspend the rules to hear from the residents in the MLK area. Any discussion? Please vote.
Chairman, we suspending the rules for all public comments?
No, this is not a part
specific?
of the
It's
the awards.
non-agenda.
It's a non-agenda item.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's what it was.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That motion to send the rule passes 7-0. And I have several who wishes to speak it, but they may or may not want to speak. But I want to call first Reverend Lonnie Hamilton. Reverend Hamilton, will you come forward?
Mayor Tyler, members of the City Council, ladies and gentlemen, I am Lonnie Hamilton. I reside at 2727 Hersey D. Wilson Drive. I wish today to present a petition from property owners affected by the Hersey D. Wilson construction project. I also have claims and complaints from property owners that I would also like to present to the city of Shreveport. May I have permission to use this overhead projector?
Reverend Hamilton, nearly we have 3 minutes.
Yeah, I can do it in 3 if somebody.
Okay,
I
stop
gotta
the clock
take
one
this, you know,
second.
turn
Can
this
somebody
on.
assist him with the overhead projector?
So, is it on? Just put it on.
While they're coming.
Just put it face.
Put the face up?
Face up.
Face up. What you see is the current state of Hersey D. Wilson Drive in Millen Street. This is after the completion of the project. So I wanted to illustrate the problem that we have. May I now read the petition?
Please, sir.
The Hersey D. Wilson construction project, inclusive of adjacent streets, Millen, Ion, Stagen, and Robert Terrell Street. We, the residents affected by construction, paving, and infrastructure / drainage of Hersey D. Wilson Drive are collectively and formally petitioning the city of Shreveport to address the substandard work done by Hardin Construction Company and the city of Shreveport. Meetings were held at the home of Virginia Evans, Lonnie Hamilton, and C. Monet on Hersey D. Wilson, with residents residing on the above-mentioned adjacent streets and on Hersey D. Wilson. At each meeting, along with homeowners, representatives of the City Council, of Shreveport's Engineering Department, and Hardin's Construction Company were present. Concerns have been consistently raised concerning the progress of construction and design by the City of Shreveport, which now affects drainage, causing flooding in homeowners' yards, affecting homeowners' foundations. It is our understanding Plan 1 was denied by the City of Shreveport August 28, 2014. After 3 years of design by W.T. Winfield and Associates, mainly due to improper drainage design, after which the City of Shreveport took over the design in-house and hired Hardin Construction Company. As of December 2015, we've been informed Hardin Construction no longer has a project. At our last meeting, Hardin's Construction expressed Plan 1 was a better one. As a result of the Plan Number 2 design taken over by the city of Shreveport, residents have suffered various damages from poor drainage affecting foundations, creating swamp effects. The plan did not include proper catch basins. Water continues to stand throughout the 26th, 27th, and 2800 blocks of Hersey D. Wilson. Areas where rainwater formerly drained into ditches now drain into residents' yards and underneath foundations. Fire hydrants not visible above ground, and due to dips and swags in the concrete, water is now ponding. Mailboxes were replaced with substandard mailboxes, and residents were told by the contractor it's what the city ordered. Brick mailboxes were not replaced. We, the homeowners affected by the poor designing on Plan Number 2 by the city of Shreveport residing on the aforementioned streets, are petitioning to be made whole and accommodated for all losses and drainages. I would like to present a list of claims and complaints to the city of Shreveport as directed by my city councilman, Willie Bradford.
Jack, will you receive those and we would refer them to the administration? But my understanding is that that this construction is not complete, is not finished. Is that my understanding?
I'm going to call Robert up to talk to it. This was something that began before my administration, and I need to get some clarity on, you know, the ongoing issues.
Yes, ma'am. But what I would do, Mayor, in all due respect, I would receive these in the council office.
Okay.
And the council will refer them to the administration.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Okay then, Robert, you can have a seat.
We have submitted a substantial list of items left to be complete by the contractor. A lot of these include drainage, dress-up, sidewalk drainage flumes, and things along this line that he has not completed as part of his construction. We're anticipating him to complete these things. If he does not complete them, I will hire a contractor to complete them to ensure that proper drainage and everything else is taken care of on that project.
Thank you, sir. And we'll
take the appropriate steps.
We'll hold it there until the job is complete. Then we
absolutely
we'll be more intelligent in addressing whatever the complaints are.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that, and thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you, Robert. And there's some others who would like to make a comment. I'm on. This. Well, let's do it like that. Ma'am, did you submit a slip?
Did I submit? Yes, I did. My name is Bertie Dean. Good afternoon, Mayor Tyler and members of the council. First of all, I'd like to say I'm very satisfied.
Your name and, I'm sorry, your address, please.
2860 Hersey D. Wilson Drive.
Okay.
Okay. I'm very satisfied that our street has been paved. Before this work was done, there were holes and big lumps in the street that were tearing up our cars. My main concern in this matter is this pile of dirt that has been left in our neighborhood. This is an eyesore, and it's not a safe place for the children that have begun playing on the machine and the hill of dirt that has been left. There are 2 TVs that have been dumped on this site, creating a miniature dump site. If the street project is finished, why is there a list called the punch list and not completed? And is there a way for us, the residents, to get a copy of this list to verify whether our concerns are included on this list? Councilman Bradford advised all the members of this group to fill out a list of damages to our property during this construction. What I would like to know from you, Mayor Tyler, is should we also file a complaint with risk management? And if so, where do we get the proper papers to file these complaints? Also, Mayor Tyler, I am asking that you come out and tour our area so that you may see this dump and the way we, the citizens of this area, have been treated. We would also like to involve the Environmental Protection Agency to come and test this area to make sure that there is no hazardous contaminated materials being left in our neighborhood.
Ms. Dean, thank you. You finished?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to reiterate the fact that the chief engineer just spoke and mentioned that the project is not complete.
It is not complete.
And to act in any way at this time, I'm not saying that you can't, on the city's part, would be premature. we're gonna give the proper departments the time to assess what's need to be, and then execute those issues. And then once this council is notified that the work is complete, then we could better respond to whatever the issues are. So I appreciate your comments, but certainly your request is noted, okay?
Okay, but what you're telling me right now is that we will be notified when this project is finished.
Yes, you will.
With the punch list. Is there a way for us to get a copy of that?
I don't know, but I'll check with the proper people, and if there is, I'll contact I'm having to use sort of the spokesman for this group. I'll let the spokesman know.
Okay.
And we'll share it if it's available.
Okay, and we surely appreciate your help in that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
for coming down, Ms. Dean. Now, I had some others. Did Mr. Dean want to speak? No? Okay. Did anybody else fill out a card? I need this. Do you have one? Did you fill out one of these? What's your name, sir?
Cardell Allen.
Yes, sir. Come forward, sir, and give me your name and your address, please.
I'm Cardell Allen. I reside at 2039 Millen Street, right off Hersey D. Wilson, Mayor, CAO, and the council. Her construction did a lousy job. City hired them, come up and did a lousy job, and they really destroyed everybody's property in that area where they did the street. I worked for the city of Shreveport, the Street and Drainage Division, for 25 years before I retired. So I'm understanding on how you do streets and how they're supposed to be done. My property is at the dead end of Millen Street, and all the water, when it rains, runs down to my house. It floods out my house. All the properties down there that I own, lots, are flooded out. It's a flood zone down there. My house has fallen in the front because of decaying of the ground and the washing out of all the dirt that supports the foundation to my house. My house done cracked. And all because of the way that they did that street. They elevated Hersey D. Wilson 2 to 3 feet higher than it's supposed to be. When it rains, all the water runs down. Before they did that project, the streets were level. All the side streets coming out, everything was level and even. Because of this, they've caused more property damage down there than anything. Now, the engineer says they're going to take proper steps to take care of that problem. Unless you raise the street of Millen Street, unless you lower Hersey D. Wilson, go back and redo that concrete and lower it, you're not going to solve the problem. I had my properties evaluated and got estimates on it. It's going to cost quite a bit of money to get all the damages done, fixed. Now, these people didn't do their job. They didn't do what they were supposed to have. You have a whole neighborhood just about wrecked. I'm not going to be as polite as some of the others and say it was messed up. It was wrecked. They destroyed that neighborhood. And somebody's going to have to be held accountable for that. And somebody's going to have to pay for that. Whether it be the city, whether it be the contractor that they say they're under contract. We were told they're not under contract. Somebody need to tell us who's going to pay for the damages to the citizens and the property owners' property up there in the MLK area. Somebody need to let us know something. Because my place is destroyed. And I don't have the funding to take care of everything that was done. House and my vehicles. Somebody, y'all need to do something. I'm just saying and putting it out there for you that you all need to work on fixing that problem that you, the city of Shreveport, hired these contractors to do. And they've destroyed all these people's homes. Thank you.
What's your street? Millen, did you say?
Millen.
Is it just is it a couple?
It's a dead-end street.
I got you, okay. I'm looking at it on the map. Okay.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate those remarks. Did anyone else from the Hersey D. Wilson neighborhood want to speak who fill out a card? Okay. Let me do this, and can the city attorney come up, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I mentioned earlier, Attorney Bradford, that the street itself has not been completed, that street project.
Correct.
Chief engineer had mentioned that he's aware of some of the needs that need to be completed before it's declared complete.
Correct.
But my question is in regards to the damages that these residents are experiencing. Do they need to wait until the street is complete, or can you direct us how they could be addressed, their issues could be addressed in the interim?
Sure. I cannot advise the citizens in any position that's adverse to the city.
Okay.
But what I can suggest is that if we're given an opportunity to evaluate with Mr. Westerman how far out the project is, we'll also look, this is a bonded project as well, we'll look to see what avenues may be available for us at this time. Again, I'd need some time to speak with Mr. Westerman, to speak with Risk, and move from there. I think we move very expeditiously considering the nature of these claims and the nature of the issues arising for those individuals who live along Hersey D. Wilson. So I'm just becoming aware of this issue now, and I would need some time to evaluate it with Mr. Westerman.
Once we review it and could come up with, again, I heard you, that you can't advise litigation against the city, but we can eventually direct them, if they want to file a claim against whoever for this project, that we can make them aware of that.
Well, we'll make them aware of what resolutions we have on our end. That's the best way I can put it.
And again, there's a lot of options, including the courts, I guess.
Right. Of course, we want to get the project done and done correctly. That's the position of the city.
That's the number one thing.
Right.
Because if we go in now, and I don't know, and the situation is still existing, then it's just going to re-damage what could be already fixed. So we want to be careful in moving forward. And y'all understand that, I trust, that if we make any actions in any way, and it's not totally complete, then again, I would use the word premature to act. But that's on the city's part, but you certainly have the right to pursue whatever means you think is necessary at this time. The clerk, please.
If anybody thinks that they have been damaged, can you tell them where they need to go to file a claim?
Sure. They would go to the Office of Risk Management. That's located on the 6th floor of Government Plaza.
All right, and I'm going to ask that the residents, the council is receiving this. We're going to, and I'm asking that you copy that material that was submitted, those documents, and then submit it to the administration. Thank you, Council. Mayor?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say, basically publicly, we inherited this problem.
Yes, ma'am.
The contractor was not hired by this administration.
Yes, ma'am.
However, we're willing to take on the responsibility now that we're in the seat. And just know that we're going to be very sensitive to try to make sure that we can address the issues that we've inherited. But just know that it's something that we inherited. We did not hire this contractor, whomever he is, she, but we are going to do what we need to do to try to rectify the situation.
Thank you, Mayor, for those
Thank you,
comments.
sir.
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
One question. Do we have a project on Audrey Lane as well, or is that a proposed project, or?
It's not a capital, is it?
I thought Audrey was an overlay.
Was it an overlay? It's on one of our lists.
I thought
I mean,
Audrey,
for the current year, but not ongoing.
I mean, that's kind of why I'm at. It's on, I don't know if it's
Audrey
been done or about to be
asphalt
done.
reconstruction, am I correct? Or?
All I was just curious is we're not starting that project until we get this, I mean, because it goes right through the middle of it, right?
Well, the section of Audrey Lane that's on your list, Councilman, is the section north of MLK Drive, and where Hersey D. Wilson is south of MLK
Okay,
Drive.
thank you. Well, I was like, well, we're about to start even a bigger problem over here. But, okay, but I knew it was on one of the lists, but I didn't know which section.
It's not on the.
Thank you.
Under
Okay.
construction at this time.
I was like, well, it's not ahead.
Okay. Okay, I see no other lists.
I'm on the board.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm looking at forms. Councilwoman Lynch, please.
Yeah, I wanted to trying to make sure, we're talking really about two different issues here. And I want to make sure they hear what I'm saying. So I want to make sure, and I know the attorney is talking with them, but I want to make sure we're talking about two different issues. One is the completion of the street project. Okay, and then the other is their concerns about damages that they've already sustained up until this point, correct? And I'm not sure, I know, you know, you run into a statute of limitations issue, which I don't know what it is in a case like this, and whether what they're doing today is actually putting us on notice, or they actually need to go forward with reporting and documenting their damages and getting that information to the Office of Risk Management. If they've already sustained damage, as they claim, then that needs to go on and be reported, okay? Not after the street is fixed at whatever point in time. And I'm saying that because I've got my insurance hat on today, okay? That needs to go on and be reported, okay? Whatever you all have currently. And I just want to make sure that, you know, today is notice, but you don't take that in terms of the type of damages that you all are claiming. Just reporting it to the council, I'm not sure if that's sufficient notice. You need to take that next step and actually formally put the Office of Risk Management on notice, okay? Y'all nod, say, you know, so I make sure you understand what I'm saying. I'm saying make sure that you go on and document and report whatever damages that you all are claiming that you have with the Office of Risk Management now, okay, so that they will have that information. Just what we received today may not be actual or constructive notice of what your damages are. It needs to be documented, okay, and it needs to be reported, formally reported. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. It makes all the sense in the world. And as a councilman, I will meet with you and reiterate what was just said by Councilwoman Lynch. Okay, so we'll be clear on your options. You have options, and we don't want to limit you to your options. There's a short-term remedy, then there's long-term remedy. We're gonna direct you in the council. The city attorney gave us directions that risk management would be the proper department to move at this time if you so desire. But I'll further communicate that to you. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Well, she has a card filled out, but it says she didn't want to speak. Now you do want to speak.
Yeah.
We'll allow you to speak.
Y'all doing okay? My concern is, although the street...
Ms. McCullough, will you just name and address for the record? Thank you.
Former City Councilwoman Rose Wilson McCullough of District A, 2509 Kemp Lane.
Okay.
My biggest concern is the landfill that's being created. And Jerry, I think I sent you a picture of the landfill and of course Councilman Bradford has referred to it as a construction site. But my biggest concern, because children is what I do, is the fact that the children are playing on the bulldozers. It has also been brought to our attention that once soil is moved from one place to another, Stephanie, it's contaminated. So now we have kids in the neighborhoods that are now playing in this contaminated soil on this equipment. And just yesterday, it's almost like maybe the city of Shreveport or Hardin's Construction, Mayor Tyler, created a landfill in the middle of a residential area. Because on just yesterday, there were 2 televisions that was added to this site. And I really would appreciate it, Mayor Tyler. I know you have a busy schedule, and I also expressed this to Attorney Bradford. But it's something that you really need to see. And it is in a neighborhood. It is on a residential street. In the beginning, before the construction started,
it was just clear land. Now we have mounds and mountains of contaminated soil with a, I don't know if you call it backhoe, bulldozer sitting in the very middle of it with concrete. So if it's any way we could get the contractor to move that right away, because right now our kids are playing in the area and that's a safety hazard. So I didn't want to say anything because, you know, the street is named after Hersey D. Wilson, and, you know, the residents do have complaints, and my mother has some as well. And I appreciate you, Stephanie Lynch, for recommending that we go through risk management, because I had shared that with them. I appreciate I appreciate our councilman for suggesting that we list our concerns and complaints, but I know that if that's not submitted to risk management, it's no good. So I appreciate you, Stephanie, City Council and Commissioner Stephanie Lynch, for making that recommendation. And no, you're right, Mayor Tyler, you inherited this. And as a city councilman on the 2010 council, I had nothing to do with the selection of the contractor, either one. So, but I appreciate whatever you can do. I really need you to just come see, though. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay. Seeing having no other forms, we're going to move back to our regular agenda, and we are down for reports. Property standard report. Anybody have any questions or comments for Mr. Green from property standards? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Green.
Intentionally let him walk all the way up here.
That's good for him.
I did that on purpose. Revenue collection plan and implementation report.
That should have been emailed to the council at the end of last week. Be glad to answer.
We did receive that. Thank you, sir. We did receive that. We also received the security bond forfeit report. So anybody didn't receive it, let me know, because we did. Matter of fact, the distinguished council clerk sent those as we was meeting yesterday, and we got them on our email. That's not a requirement for the master plan. Sir, the comment is over, but you can wait till the end of the meeting and speak if you would like. But this section of remarks is over. In regards to that issue, we're going to have some agenda item issues in a minute. Okay. Mr. Clerk, do we have any public hearings today?
No public hearing, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Well, let's, is there any items to be added to the agenda?
No item to be added to the agenda.
Okay, what is that, sir?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't you say there is
No items.
there are no items. Okay, thank you. I misunderstood you. Okay, public comments in regards to items on the agenda. I have several. We will first hear from Mr. John Hubbard. He wants to speak on resolution 27.
Thank you. John Hubbard, 430 Town South Drive, Shreveport, 71115. I was here for yesterday's work session,
Yes, sir.
and since have read the proposed, part of the proposed ordinance, and especially on the UDC, and especially 10.5, which I guess my very honest statement, I didn't feel was properly represented yesterday in some of the comments. But the, I work for SWEPCO, and we've had a franchise agreement with the City of Shreveport for over 100 years. We trim trees. You cannot trim a tree and make it look like it was before it was trimmed. There's a difference every time. This proposed plan, as I read and took hurried comments, and I noticed a lot of things I wish I had typoed and edited out, but provide that there's a plan, there's a review, we have to come back and provide a plan with a sketch and everything at scale. And all the discussion yesterday, none of this was suggested that was even, they just wanted our plan for the year. And we have pending requests for corporate dollars from AEP to provide more trimming to address some issues that we think we need to, from a perspective of reliability on our customers. That's pending, so there will be more to come. Sometimes that's just the nature of the beast in our world. We spend it as we're able to get it. But I'm in talking with SPAR and Shelley Regal, and there was seemingly a feeling that there had not been plans, but in our Jake Morris, the forester at SWEPCO, had spoken with Fred Morgan at SPAR, who's now retired, Levon White, Edward Buncombe over the last few years, and at Streets and Drainage, we had spoken with Ernie Negrete, and so we have been doing that. We have been trying to work hand in hand with the city, and I don't know that that was fairly represented, and I just wanted to put that into record. We just simply want to serve the customers, and I tell you, providing service and meeting reliability standards of the Public Service Commission, which govern our industry, we just think public utilities governed by the Public Service Commission should be exempt from these and let us continue to serve our customers. And I'll answer whatever questions if there are any.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Hubbard? Thank you, Mr. Hubbard.
Thank you.
Kenny Kraft want to speak on Resolution 22 and 23.
Javon Temple, Bon Ton Roulet, Kenneth Kraft, 157 Archer. Talk briefly to City Engineer Robert Westerman. We have to reject bids on these two resolutions. The lowest bid is so high. In one case, 62nd and Wallace, Resolution 22, it's like 95.5% above the budget. And on the other, 72nd Street, it's about 56%. But apparently there's a new process by which this construction will take place. I was just concerned that it was a trend. And with the privilege of the chair, could I invite people to a meeting this evening instead of waiting to the end, Mr. Chairman?
I will certainly do it for you if you are not allowed to.
He's in conversation, so I'll just say that when I suggested Mardi Gras parades at Mayor Hussey's Future Shape 30 years ago, I was laughed out of the room, and it was so preposterous, it was not even put by the MPC executive director on the flipboard, on the whiteboard. They said they would take any proposal. I said Mardi Gras parades. 3 years later, Jim and I was rolling, so I just wanted to invite the general public to the Broadmoor Neighborhood Association meeting tonight with the mayor and the CO. Some of the directors will be there at 6:30 at the Broadmoor Presbyterian Church gym. Certainly, there will be presentations and give and take and Q&A afterwards. And what I really love about Mardi Gras is I turned 18 on Mardi Gras Day in 1966. It's the first time I ever had a beer, legally.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kraft, and thank you for that notification that the mayor has to be somewhere at 6:30, so we need to hurry along here.
By the way, maybe it takes a little while to get there, so let's not just wait right till the end of 6:30. How about that?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Councilman, because it's your district. So anyway, now I have a request from Mr. Benjamin Arnold. He wants to speak on Resolution 10, even though it's not scheduled to be voted on today. We will hear him. Mr. Arnold, you present?
Right to the church. Now, I know it's kind of the ramp.
Good afternoon, everyone. I didn't think I'd get to speak till later, but I appreciate you allowing me to. And my name is Benjamin Arnold. I live at 9516 Cinnamon Drive in Shreveport, 71118. And just wanted to speak to you concerning the inner-city corridor. And it's really getting to be a hot-button topic among a lot of people, and regardless of where we stand on the issue, I'm personally really excited to see so many residents taking an interest in it. Either way, For time's sake, I'll go ahead and just go ahead and read from what I've written. You know, the weight of each generation inherits from its predecessors can be tremendously prohibitive, even unfair, but they can also be an honor. My generation and that of several members of this council, known as Generation X, is the first in American history to grow up during a period of total integration. Now, having lived all over North America, I can attest to the fact that during the past 40 years, since my generation has matured, the American South has become the most fully integrated society on the face of the earth. The transition has been at times painful, especially for Black Americans, and it's far from over, but in the coming decades, we have an even greater opportunity to realize an even greater degree of unity and harmony by working together. This increased degree of contact between Black and white residents throughout America, but especially the South, has occurred largely under the tutelage of the baby boomers generation, who inherited a greater burden. The baby boomers inherited a post-war world of economic growth, but amidst a period of great social upheaval. Now, I grew up witnessing the aftermath of all of that upheaval, as my mother was a hippie and my father was a soldier. My mother's a Native American. My father is a German-American Jewish. And my father lived in the mostly white Southern Hills area, while with my mother, I attended such schools as Head Start at Hamilton Terrace, elementary school at Warner Park, junior high school at Midway, got my GED from Fairpark. Now, my life is not so much unlike that of many others of my generation, that of my parents, but what we have seen over the past 4 decades is what works and what doesn't work. And what we've seen locally is that the building of highways has consistently failed to fulfill the promises of economic growth, a lesson many other American cities are now realizing and tearing down their highways. Now, if there's a better example of the failure of these Keynesian economics than the almost $20 trillion worth of federal debt we're leaving to future generations, I know of none. But we still have, despite that investment, a crumbling infrastructure and loss of jobs everywhere. To highlight this failed policy, GM invested $800 million to expand their Shreveport plant. But they still left, as did AT&T or Lucent and many other employers.
Mr. Chairman.
Certainly, your time has expired. I appreciate you coming down and speak, but we have to move on.
Okay, well, if anyone thinks that a 3.6-mile stretch of highway would have kept any of those companies here, then I hope they'll take a more broad perspective.
Let me also suggest, I don't know if you have attended any of the public hearings. The decision in regards to this is not in the preview of this city council or the administration. So if you would notify the proper authorities to register your interest.
Right, I understand you guys are voting on it, I believe, next month.
Well, I mean, but we're not the body that will make the determination.
Sure, okay,
but
but you guys are the leaders that people will look to.
But I'm
for
asking
your
that
opinion.
you contact the proper people to make your complaint and make your feelings known. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have a request to speak from Reverend Mays. Reverend Linus Mays, and you have I-49 and then you have state police misconduct. Is that 2 items, or you want to speak on I-49?
I'll speak on I-49 first, and then later on, I'll speak on.
At the end of the meeting. I-49 could be spoken to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I wasn't here at the last meeting.
Just give your name and your...
Pastor Mays, 10398 Buncombe Road, Bethany, Louisiana, 335 East Azale, Shreveport, Louisiana. And I just came up briefly to just, I know that I heard a lot of talk the other week at the last council meeting concerning the I-49. I'm just of the mindset to be in favor of anything that's going to bring economic growth to the city. The statistics hadn't been done as of yet. From what I understand, the survey has not been done. But anything that's going to bring an economic impact to the downtown area, to the Allendale area, to assist those individuals as it relates to better housing,
there's some numbers that's out there that we're not sure. People saying as much as $1 billion. We don't know if the numbers are true and accurate, but I think that anything that's going to bring development, job creation to this city, this council ought to be in favor of it. So that's just my take on it for what it's worth. And we're talking to others in the community to letting the people of Allendale know that anything that's going to bring economic development to that community, we should be in favor of.
Thank you, Reverend Mays. And, thank you. Yeah, we're just going to say again that we're not the body that would make the determination. And those that will be,
yes, sir,
I'm sure are doing all the feasibility studies, all of the research in regards to what the best route and action to take on this.
Right. And we understand this council is just bringing it up to get the conversation started.
We're interested in Shreveport. You're right about that. Okay. All righty. Those are all the on the agenda items that we have. We're going to move on to, as it relates to confirmations. Pardon me, Mr. Clerk, if we have any.
We have none.
All right, Mr. Clerk, let's move on to consent agenda legislation.
On the consent agenda, we have several items. Resolution 22, 23, 24, and 25. Resolution 26 has already been adopted. So a motion to adopt the consent agenda is in order.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Corbin, seconded by Councilman Jenkins, that we adopted the consent agenda. Then the discussion, please vote. Is it registered? Can we vote? Now we can vote. The motion passes 7-0. You may continue, Mr. Clerk.
There were no ordinances on the consent agenda. On the regular agenda legislation, the first resolution is 10, supporting the completion of I-49 through an inner-city connector. This was postponed until March the 8th, 2016.
Let me just say this about that. And I appreciate my council members. I actually contacted some of them, most of them, all of them, in regards to taking this item up. But being a team player, they've had some reservations because there are citizens that was anticipating coming back on that date. So we'll maintain the postponement until that date.
For the record, that will continue to be postponed. We now have resolution number 20, authorizing the mayor to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement with the Caddo Parish Sheriff relative to the use of network fiber and otherwise providing with respect thereto.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilman Jenkins, second by Councilman Epperson for adoption. Are there any discussion? You may vote. Motion passes 7-0. Continue, please.
Resolution 27.
Mr. Chair.
Councilman.
I'm asking that that be tabled.
Table.
Table.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Flory, second by Councilman Oliver Jenkins, that this 27 be tabled. Are there any discussion? Please vote. Motion to table passes 7-0.
Chairman, we're now in the introduction of resolutions. Yesterday, there was an indication by the administration that resolution 28 should be removed.
This still this.
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
That's the desire of the administration.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilman Epperson, seconded by Councilman Jenkins for this would be removed from the agenda. Are there any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes 7-0. Continue, please.
The other items on under introduction of resolutions are Resolution 29, authorizes the mayor to execute telecommunications franchise agreements and otherwise provides with respect thereto. And Resolution 30, which authorizes the mayor to execute agreements with various entities relative to supplemental payments for ambulance services provided to Medicaid patients and otherwise providing with respect thereto.
Been moved by Councilman Epperson, seconded by Councilman Flory, that these would be introduced. Are there any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes 7-0.
We're now in the introduction of ordinances. There was also an indication yesterday that ordinance number 9 should be removed.
That's still the desire of the administration.
That's
So
correct,
moved.
Mr. Chair.
Moved by Councilman Jenkins, seconded by
I'll second.
Councilman Epperson, that this item will be removed from the agenda. Are there any discussion? Please vote. We have all the votes in? Oh, let's vote again, please. It's in?
It's
Oh, sorry. That motion passes 7-0.
We're now at the introduction of ordinances. The ones that are to be introduced are ordinance number 7, amends the 2016 Airports Enterprise Fund budget. Ordinance number 8 amends the 2016 capital improvements budget. Ordinance 10 will close and abandon alleys between the 1600 block of Clay Street and Alston Street and Cutliff's subdivision in section 35 Township 18 North, Range 14 West. Ordinance number 11 closes and abandons a portion of Sand Beach Boulevard between 70th Street and Fern Street. Ordinance 12 amends the 2016 capital improvements budget.
So moved to introduce.
Moved by Councilwoman Lynch, seconded by Councilman Epperson, that these items will be introduced. Are there any discussion? If not, please vote. Introduction of these items passes 7-0.
We're now to ordinances on second reading and final passage. The first is ordinance number 4. It amends the 2016 Grant Special Revenue Fund budget.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Epperson, seconded by Councilwoman Lynch. Are there any discussion? If not, vote please. Motion passes 7-0. Continue.
Ordinance number 5 amends and reenacts section 90-306 of the code relative to reserved parking spaces for the handicapped. There is one amendment. It's a technical amendment to make all paragraphs consistent in the use of the terms license plate, hang tag, and parking card.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Epperson, seconded by Councilwoman Lynch for amendment of the motion. Any discussion? Please vote.
Just by the way, this is just making the language match with the ordinance.
Motion passes 7-0.
So moved as amended.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Epperson, seconded by Councilwoman Lynch. The motion as amended. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion with amendment passes 7-0.
Chairman, the other item on the agenda is ordinance number 6. We
Mr.
have
Clerk.
received a letter.
Clerk.
I think we're gonna, no, I was just gonna say, I think I'm gonna make a motion to remove item 6 from the
We have
agenda.
received a letter from the attorney for the applicant asking that it be removed.
Is
So
that
moved. Sorry. So moved to have it
second by
removed.
the chair. Moved by Councilman Jenkins, seconded by the chair for this item to be removed. Any discussion on this? If not, you may vote.
Yeah, I'm not given an
You're not voting?
option to vote right now on my screen.
I wasn't either, I just pushed it and it showed
worked?
up.
What are you saying?
Okay.
The screen just looked funny. I don't know what it was.
Is it- The motion,
Said it.
I'm sorry?
That's not right.
That's not right?
Said, I hit yes.
Like I said, I didn't even get an option to vote on my screen, so.
We voted for
Is that, it?
Yes.
Let me be clear. Is that a unanimous vote? Everybody?
Intentional.
Okay, the motion passes
That's our
7-0.
fault.
Can't have, can't have mine right.
That's 7-4, is that right?
Yes. That
For
was
the record.
malfunction in the equipment, so that it's unanimous 7-0.
Wardrobe, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
7-0, correct?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we now, Mr. Clerk.
We're on the table legislation, Mr. Chairman. I'm not aware that this item is to be removed.
Okay, it's not? Okay, well, we'll move forward to appeals. Are there any appeals? We addressed property standards. Are there any other appeals for the day?
All of them were taken up yesterday. I mean, all of the appeals that we had were taken up yesterday.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Do we have any report from any officers, boards, or committees? Any reports? Yes, sir. Councilman Jefferson.
I'll just mention, as was mentioned yesterday, we have a master plan committee meeting scheduled for February, I believe the 18th at 10 a.m. on the 4th floor MPC conference room.
February the 18th at, what time did you say?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. And I would trust that all those that are assigned to that committee would be in attendance. Any other? Council Lady Lynch.
Yes, I just wanted to just give a brief update on the property standards meeting that we held on yesterday. Basically, we're going to be under a 60-day review period. The department is going to be looking at some policies and processes and getting back with the committee and updating the committee on some recommendations to make our operations more efficient and effective before the grass starts growing, before anybody else's house burns down, and, you know, a whole bunch of other things. As we know, property standards is probably one of the #1 issues, certainly in the district that I represent, but all over the city. And so I'm excited that we're looking at how to make that operation more efficient and effective. Now, Mr. Mike Woods, is he still here? Is he still here? Mike Woods?
He probably stepped out.
I think he stepped out. So, in 60 days, we'll come back and continue the dialogue. I think Councilman Everson has some recommendations that were made from prior council that he's going to be getting to the committee, and we want the citizens, I just wanted everybody to look at your mic, that's all. This is the Director of Public Works who is going to be working. I'm just giving a brief report on the property standards that we had on yesterday. Lost my train of thought. But anyway, we'll be continuing to work together, and if there's some, you know, legislation certainly that the council needs to consider, then we want to make sure that we get that information as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. That's it. And let me congratulate you again, Councilwoman Lynch, on that meeting yesterday. I thought it was a very productive meeting. We put proposed some provisions that we think would strengthen that department, and CEO was there, Chief Officer, and I think we're on our way. And Mayor, we just discussed that we need to take the property standards at the same level and degree and interest that we take litter abatement.
Absolutely.
It's all a reflection of the city. So we're gonna improve that our appearance all which ways. Okay.
Absolutely.
Are there any other boards or committees that want to report today? If not, our distinguished clerk has a report, I'm sure.
Mr. Chairman, last week, I believe it was, you made certain appointments to boards and commissions, and we circulated that list with the council members, but we may not have circulated it with all of the administrative staff that would need to know that, because I think some of them notify council members whenever there's a meeting. So we redid that again today, so that hopefully, you know, if there's a health care board meeting or whatever, who sends out the notices will know who the new people are on those committees, if there have been a change, and all of the others. So I just was putting everybody on notice that some of them have changed, and you may want to look at that list when you get it. We received from the mayor, the council received from the mayor 2 appointments. One as the chief building official, Mr. Gary Norman, and the other as the division manager for athletics, Mr. C. Gerard Jones. So you have received those.
And we had a chance to visit with those gentlemen on yesterday. Anybody have any questions regarding these appointments? We got a sidebar going, so we'll just wait a second.
Well, we've got a little confusion about who's on what board, so maybe include all of us again on that memo, because we had a board meeting today, and one was potentially shouldn't have been, I mean, anybody can come, but I'm not sure the right people know which boards they're even on at this moment.
Can you resend those? Thank you. And,
Was that me?
I don't know if it's you, could be me, but I don't know there's three of us on that board, and it's, James thinks he's on the board, then one of you and I is not on it.
no board can get enough of great leaders, so if you have any doubt, if you're on that board, go anyway.
But like I say, I don't know, that's why I'm asking.
But when they shut you out, shut the door. You know,
Can't shut the
I
door.
have a dream too.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll check. I think we sent those earlier today. Anyway, we'll make sure.
Okay.
All right, we'll correct
After
that.
your meeting.
I mean, you know, I may be suffering from broken email over here because we've had that period recently, so I'm not sure I saw those.
Okay, and we'll get those corrected, and I'm trusting that. This year, let's try to at least meet and develop some you know, some resolve to some of these problems that these committees are responsible for addressing. Okay. All righty, now we got back to some communications. Madam Mayor, do you have any further communications?
Nothing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You don't want to invite nobody over to the Broadmoor Neighborhood Association?
We'd love to have you come.
Come on.
Yes.
District C always welcomes with open arms. I know there's been some folks there to those meetings before. They always seem to have a good time.
Do you have refreshments? I didn't remember.
Probably not tonight. I don't
Okay.
think I have two refreshment
Do
lists
lunch and they
tonight.
quit.
They have a good party though at the end of the year, but not
Oh,
not
y'all
at
party,
Mardi.
y'all.
They don't have any food tonight.
No.
Okay. All righty, well, thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
additional communication from any council people? Council Lady Lynch.
Yes. I have been rolling around District F, and I am noticing, you know, people must be getting rid of mattresses like in the last week, and all kind of stuff that's sitting on the curb. So I just need to go over this number again, and I'm hoping that at some point we'll address this process, because I'm not sure if people are still getting it. But the number they need to call to schedule bulk pickup is 673-6300, is that correct?
Right.
The number for bulk pickup, if you put something out on the street, mattresses, TVs, I'm talking to my constituents.
And mine.
I've seen some of everything this week, well, last week. And I want to make sure that you understand that's not going to be picked up necessarily on your trash day. It has to be scheduled and called in. And that number, 673-6300, okay, please call that number if you have anything sitting on your curb that was not picked up on Friday, so that it can get picked up, please.
I have,
Can I interrupt one thing now?
we yield to
The
council.
intent is to call before putting it
I
out.
understand, but it's already out there, so I'm saying,
I mean, but
I
don't
understand.
confuse the issue.
No, I'm not gonna confuse it. I want what's there now reported and picked up as soon as possible. So if you all would be so kind as to call the number 673-6300, if it's still out there, and have it scheduled to be picked up. Thank you.
Thank you,
Now you can add whatever you,
May I?
whatever
No,
else you want to
Councilman
add.
Corbin is on the board.
Okay.
Okay. Councilman Mike Corbin?
On the same topic as solid waste, I know prior council had made some changes based on recommendations that came to us about how we deal with bulk trash and solid waste. And I know Mr. Wood's still kind of getting settled in, although he has been there for a while, but he's getting officially settled in. I'd just like to request from administration that maybe we get an update of where we are on solid waste in the next couple meetings, and if there are any proposed changes or any changes that we need to look at. Where are we on equipment? Do we have enough knuckle boom trucks? Is that program working? And just, do we need to make any more tweaks to solid waste in the near future?
We'll do it.
Okay. Vice Chair.
Mr. Chairman, I just kind of want to go, what Councilwoman Lynch said. The report of concern on ShreveportLA.gov on the left-hand side is an absolutely great way to schedule appliances and potholes and many other things. And I just encourage the citizens to use that, because that, you get a tracking number, then you get an email after it's been taken care of, and it's been very successful. And you can also upload photos if you need to. So shreveportla.gov, report a concern.
And I trust the citizens who's listening will adhere to these comments and directions, because it'll help us, it'll help the city really address any nuisance as it relates to mattresses and bulk litter and trash on our street sidewalk. So let's work together and make Shreveport better. Yeah, man, let's work together. Let me ask you a question, Mike, and since you have both departments, as it relates to, I had a resident call me yesterday. Come up for a second. I just want to ask you.
Ask the mayor if he can come out there.
Mayor, may I speak to Mr. Woods?
Yes, sir, you may.
Thank you. That's full call. I appreciate you correcting me on that. Mr. Woods, my question is, and I think it's been said that, you know, the proper procedures that we will call in advance.
That's what we hope for.
If a resident knows that they're going to do something that's going to require a knuckle boom truck or something, and I've seen Public Works. Now, property standards also have these big trailers that they leave on site sometimes to let people put stuff in there. If they're gonna say, for instance, cut down some trees and shrubbery and weeds all in their back, can they request something to sit there until they finish, or do they need to put it on the ground and come back?
No, sir, we don't have dumpsters anymore. We do have movable trailers, but those are the trailers that go behind our knuckle booms.
Okay.
So when we do those sweeps that you see us do, and we do that accumulation, that kind of thing, those are our trailers that we normally use for hauling. So we do not have any dumpsters as such.
I see. Okay. So
there's nothing I can bring and leave.
Okay, that's all I need to know, because again, doing the sweeps, they do leave some.
Right.
You have a trailer to leave for a day for them to bring debris to.
Exactly. If you know, a neighborhood cleanup, we provide a trailer or two, whatever's necessary, so that they can load them there, and then we haul them to the landfill.
Okay, thank you. That's what I want to know, because they wanted to know if they're going to cut down some stuff, tear down a couple of something in the backyard, and they wanted to know if they can, instead of moving it twice.
Right.
They wanted to know if they just throw it over in the dumpster and haul it away.
No, I don't have enough of them. Wish I did.
Okay, I understand.
Right, thanks.
Thank you. And I was at, I'm sorry, I'm finished with you. My next question is to administration and maybe the chief mayor. I was at the North Shreveport business luncheon today, and Tom Pace, and I'm sure you know Tom Pace, wanted me to bring to your attention that he had an incident at his house. He does radio personality. An incident with his house. His wife called him and said something suspicious is going on outside. And he called 911, and he had called several times.
Yeah.
And it was over several minutes before he got somebody on the line. Are you familiar with the issue with 911?
I'm not, but I'm just getting the email, and we will check into it. Now, 911, that's not under our operation.
I think the police department has a dispatcher there.
Homeland Security?
Yeah, well, the 911 center is under the 911 administration, but the police and the fire dispatch is the primary call taker for 911. So generally speaking, they answer the calls and they route it to whether it's a fire call or it's a police call. And they have to answer it within so many seconds, and Chief Wolverton can address that specifically.
Yes, sir. I was wondering, what's the policy or the time that a call should be answered?
Under the Communication Division is CALIA accredited, and their goal is always to answer a call and be dispatched within less than 1 minute.
Less than 1 minute.
And last year, they averaged 57 seconds, if I remember correctly. That is receiving the call, getting the information, and getting a truck on the way.
Are you familiar with an incident that happened last Friday with Tom Pace at his residence?
No, sir, I'm not.
You're not.
And I saw Tom today at North Shreveport, and he did not mention it to me.
Well, he had me cornered. I don't know if you noticed when I came in, he had me cornered.
I will reach out to Tom and find out.
And, yeah, if you do that, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, I will.
Because he was very concerned that it took so long to get some response.
I'll find out.
I appreciate it.
And if I can just say this, Mr. Chairman, I just received this email from Ms. Raines at 426, and he called my office after we were here in the meeting, and I was going to actually get staff to find out what's going on with that.
Okay.
Okay, but we'll follow up.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Again, I want to be timely on that emergency number. All right. Any other communication from council members? Okay, if not, I think we're going to get you on time, Mayor, to your appointment. Public comments. Wait a minute, somebody's missing. Jeff, where's your constituent?
Sammy. Where is Sammy today? I don't know. I tell you, he called me multiple times to let me know where he would be on the Highland Parade route.
Oh, yeah.
Gave me a few requests for what he would like to have thrown. So I have not seen him, but and I actually didn't see him that day, so I hope he's doing all right. Maybe he's feeling a little under the weather, but we'll have to check on him.
I was being facetious, but I do know he contacts you when he's not coming sometimes.
Oh, a lot.
Okay. All righty. Reverend Mays.
Mr. Mays, 335 East Desert Hill, Shreveport, Louisiana, 10398 Buncombe Road, Bethany, Louisiana. I'm gonna be brief. Just briefly, just want to speak out on, in the spirit of Black history, most mayors around the city that was around Northwest Louisiana, particularly New Orleans, came to, the previous mayor came to the conclusion with the former mayor, Mitch Landrieu, that there is a problem within our police department. And somehow there's been a concerted effort by those individuals to try to make it seem like that there is not a problem when everyone else is saying that there is a problem. One African-American life is too many. So we got these people that play these games. And the reason why I'm down here before the city council and the mayor's, because the mayor is the one that hires the police chief, and the city council is the one that is over the city. So I'm here today. I think the mayor got a progress report. I think some of the things that she's doing is, in this council, working together, is to be commended. But there are some things that are not being done. And I am a part of that Broadmoor Neighborhood Association meeting, but I'll be at night. I come there all the time. And I'll see you there tonight. So my thing is, Mr. Chairman, is that I know that you're doing a wonderful job. I know about the cameras that you all have decided to put downtown. But in the spirit of Black history, one black life is too many. And the reason why I haven't been coming as much, because there is progress on our streets. We're seeing things that your predecessor didn't do, your former predecessor didn't do, that you are doing. So that is to be commended. But in the African-American community, one-on-one contact with the police officers, there is still people that are being treated less than human. And I know that you're going to address that. You are our first African-American lady mayor, and we appreciate, and we know that you are the mayor for everybody. But in that meeting, the former New Orleans councilman said, one of his officers, when he got elected, he said the officer came up to him and says, "Are you with us or are you against us?" He said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I'm with the people." He said, "The people elected me." So Mitch Landrieu was there. I don't know, did you attend that meeting a few months back? But it was a productive meeting where people got real positive results out of people that are concerned. So I appreciate what you guys done. I thank you for it with the body cams. But if there's some funding that can be put directly on officers and make it mandatory, because we know some people don't want it to be mandatory, that those cameras are not to go off, I think that it protect the public as well as the officer. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I have no other request to speak.
That guy wants to speak. Did that guy?
He never turned in his form. Did you turn your form in? Where is it? Come forward, sir. What's your name? Somebody give me a phone?
Let you out of here. Don't hang around.
Yes, sir. My name is Paul Pugh.
Mr. Pugh, I'm gonna allow you to speak, but I don't have a phone, but before you leave, fill out another one just for the record, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Now give your name and your address.
Paul Pugh, 3220 Redstone Drive
Okay.
in the MLK area. Yes, my situation is not quite the same as the one on Hershey D. Wilson where the roads were causing the flood damage. Mine was about the drainage system that was clogged up. And it flooded in March of 2014. Okay, I got in touch with risk management. They sent me a letter saying we cleaned out the drainage system. Actually, about 2 months later, it flooded even worse. And that's not a flood zone area. And it damaged my parents' house twice. And we've been having problems with them. And we pull out a microwave and a tire that was back there in the drainage system.
So where your drainage come in at?
On the Blanchard Road.
It come on the Blanchard Road?
Yes, sir. And
Now,
behind my house.
Okay, I'm familiar with Redstone. John, you
Right
live
across the street from
you
Mr.
live across the
Washington.
street, so it's a house across the street.
Yes, sir. John Washington.
And the water comes from
The
that
water comes
ditch
from
into
there.
your into
I
your
have
property.
pictures and everything. And like I said, they stated that we cleaned out the system and everything should be fine, Mr. Pugh. And sure enough, 2 months later, it flooded even worse. And it's caused major damage because the house burned down in 2011. It was newly rebuilt from ground up. And right now we have mold and mildew that's built up in the house. We had it on the market to sell since my mom passed in June of 2014. So we just decided to sell the house as siblings. But now we had to take it off the market because of the damage. And the damage is the city's fault from the drainage system being clogged up. And they've been in the house since '73. We never had flood problems. And Rose McCullough did report it about 3 years prior to that from the conversation with the neighbors over there.
Well, I'm going to suggest, and let me say this, I have to defend the city in some ways, in the sense that we get, people come in and claim that it's the city's fault without it being reviewed or evaluated. I can't say it's the city's fault. I mean, it has to be evaluated to see if indeed the city has some responsibility in the liability of what happened. We will, and you can submit whatever claims you have, like we asked the other residents to do. You have that privilege. But we will take your complaint, see if indeed that drainage outlet is causing any reputable harm.
It was told to me that it was coming out the neighborhood that's north of the area. Easy Living, what they call, and it clogged it down.
What's the name of that neighborhood?
Easy Living.
Easy Living, it coming across Blanchard
Coming
Road,
down from the north end to the south
behind
end.
your house.
And behind the house.
And where it goes from there?
It goes probably about a half a mile towards Pine Hill Estate and stops. Because I even took pictures up under the KCS railway, which that's where I work.
you have
The water's
pictures?
flowing beautifully over there.
No, I want you to share with me after the meeting.
Yes, sir,
Okay,
I
and
do
we
have it.
will receive your complaint and refer it to the proper
Yes, sir.
department.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for coming down and making
Thank
us
you.
aware of that, okay? All righty, I have no other comments, forms, so there's no objection from the council, this meeting is adjourned.
Okay.